Hi there YouTube, this is the Magnus bringing you yet another Total War Warhammer online ladder battle. Lately I've been playing the Chaos exclusively because, well, I like a challenge like I said before. So this time I was facing off against the Vampire Counts, and I put together an army that I felt would do well against them, including one Giant, 2 Chaos Warriors with Halberds, 2 the same with Great Weapons, 4 Forsaken, 2 Exalted Heroes on Manticores, and 1 Chaos Lord with both healing potions on the Chaos Dragon. My opponent brought 3 Blood Knights, which was quite a concern. Manfred von Karstein on his Hell Steed, or I forget what his horse is called, Nightmare, Barded Nightmare I think. And he brought 2 Skeletal Warriors, or make that 3 Skeleton Warriors, and looks like 5 Graveguard. So you can see he takes a shot at my my leader here with the gaze, but he misses. I was able to dodge it just there at the last second. And I'm going to continue to flirt with my flying units to attempt to distract him and keep his mind occupied while my infantry is moving forward. Also trying to bait out any chance for him to waste magic, because if he misses with magic missiles, the gaze, he's not going to have as much magic for Invocation of the Heck, which means, well, less healing, and that's a good thing. So my infantry line is coming up. Trying to keep everybody moving the same speed, because I have them in a control group. He's going to charge his, well, they're badass Blood Knights right into the center of my lines. But mostly, you know, besides that Forsaken unit here, he's hitting a lot of Chaos Warriors, and they are pretty rugged. Over on the flank, you're going to see my Forsaken coming in, end capping him there a little bit. This Halberdier, or Halberd, got a little bit out of position. My Chaos Dragon and my flying contingent's going to go right for his right flank. Well, right to me, left to him. And the idea here is, again, as we've talked about in the past, is just trying to roll him up. So you can see that very quickly his Skeleton Warriors are not going to hang in there long. I'm kind of, you'll notice I'm moving my flyers around a lot. I'm just trying to get charges in, trying to lower their leadership so that they begin to crumble. These are very important things when you're playing the Vampire. The other thing that's always great to do is get their leader, but he does a great job of keeping him embedded with his very nasty cavalry, which of course have anti-large capabilities, which means my flyers probably want to keep their distance most of the time. So I'm trying to focus on his inventory on his infantry on this side, while he's doing the same on the opposite side. He sees me dominating one flank, he decides to dominate the other. So we're looking good here, and we're not looking as hot over here. And that's a good counter if you see somebody rolling up one of your flanks. If you can roll up their other flank quicker or as quick, you can definitely end up with a race. So it's not always best to try to counter your opponent, but rather do the same thing on the opposite side instead of just committing everything over to here. So you can see I'm quickly moving up this way. He's relatively quickly moving up this way. My Forsaken are hanging in there though and doing a good bit of damage, got some good kills. And now we're going to get down to the center. Now everybody's in the center fighting it out. I'm trying to get Manfred here, but he's going to use his Invocation of Nahak, which is going to give him a considerable advantage. Looks like at this point both my Exalted Heroes are still going strong, and my Lord looks good as well. He's going to pull Manfred out, smart choice, and he's got me kind of bogged down with this cavalry because the Blood Knights have very good mass. They're very hard to break through. My Giant's trying to tee off best he can. Not a favorable matchup for him to have all these Blood Knights around, but he does a serviceable job. And you're going to notice some of my guys are going to start to get tired. They're going to start to rout, and the balance bar is quickly going to start to shift his way. Over here on this side where we were strong, now we got guys running away, but he has 2 guys crumbling. So not too bad there. Here I've got infantry fleeing, mostly the Forsaken, as you can see. My Giant is now broken, and he's got quite a squad moving over here. So I retreat my hero back to where I still have some infantry to try to help protect him, or my Lord, that is. Guys running out. And I'm really, at this point, I'm just really hoping I get some of these guys back, which I do. They start to reform, so I shove them back in there. The giant is all but done. Again, I make a play on Manfred, who's using Undeath Resurgent, so that's making things tough for me. It looks like, yeah, one of my exalted heroes is fled. Is that right, or is he dead? I'm not even sure. So I pull out again and I go after his cavalry because I feel like his infantry is not what's really hurting me, but it's the Blood Knights, so I wanted to get a nice rear charge on them, and I do. So I'm trying to chew away at them. Chaos Giant, or the Chaos Dragon is using magic and stuff, and then I see Manfred takes a shot at him. So I'm going to go after Manfred. I'm going to get a nice charge on him here, do a good bit of damage, and then spit pink and purple all over him. I don't know why it's pink and purple, but it's kind of funny. Manfred's going down relatively quickly, so he rallies some Blood Knights to come this way, but they start to get scared as my exalted hero and my infantry push forward. You're going to see the bar has now switched back to basically being neutral. So where we started, our army sizes are very similar, but I started with much fewer men, so I have stronger things on the field, I believe. Going to go after Manfred again, because I feel like this is the way I can turn the tide. This is the way I can win the battle. Infantry on infantry in the pits looks good. I keep pulling out and cycle charging on him. Try not to let the Blood Knights get too much work in on my Lord and Hero. And of course, my Lord is in very good shape right now. Hero not so much. And I don't want to risk anything running, because if those two run, my infantry is not going to stick around. The giant is officially dead now, but he hadn't done anything in quite some time. I have the exalted hero on Manfred again. You're going to see I pull over the Chaos Lord on the dragon. Look at the wingspan on that bad boy. I love that unit. The two-headed dragon is just too freaking cool. And he's going to chomp down on Manfred, and Manfred's going to drop, and just about a couple of seconds after that, the vampires are going to submit. So a very close battle. I want to say good game to my opponent. He played extremely well. The Forsaken all did extremely well. I think they all paid for themselves, especially this bad boy. 142 kills. Wow. The Chaos Warriors with great weapons were even better than expected, because he happened to bring quite a large contingent of Graveguard. The Halberdiers did very well. The Giant not as well, but considering he was fighting Blood Knights for a lot of time, I'm fine with that. The Exalted Heroes, you know, I have mixed feelings about these guys. I feel their leadership is needed in case your Lord goes down. The flying and the fear terror aspect of the Manticore is very important too. But I'm on the fence about them, so I'd love to hear what you guys think. Is the Exalted Hero on the flying mount with no abilities, and of course they don't have access to potions, I think it costs 1,200. Are they worth it, or is there something else I should be using instead? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I didn't bring a caster because you're going to get sniped. Looking at my opponent's army, the Skeleton Warriors, as you saw in the battle, got wiped out. The Graveguard did decent, not as good as he needed. The Blood Knights I would put in the same category. They did okay, but they should have been a lot better. Of course, they were going up against a small, tough army. And Manfred, unfortunately, missed with his early gaze. But if it wasn't for him sticking around so long, they wouldn't have been able to heal. So this is my build for against the vampires. The idea is you bring a couple of halberds to help out, because you know they're going to bring Blood Knights. You bring the Chaos Warriors to help deal with Graveguard. He brought more than I expected. And the Forsaken are really for tearing down zombies, skeletons, and if they bring Crypt Horrors, they can do pretty decent against them because of their high damage output. So that's the build. That's the concept behind it. If you learned something, if you liked the video, you just enjoyed it, or hopefully both, please like, please subscribe. I still have a dwarf competitive guide coming out. I'm going to have that for you really soon. I'm just kind of tweaking it, and I want to make it as good as humanly possible. So please like, please subscribe. Until next time, this is the Magnus. I'll see you then.